Welcome, 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 welcome. All right. Okay. Feel like we're in a nightclub.
Ooh, more nightclubby. Gives me some fun energy.
Okay. You want to put on speaker view?
That's just for us, isn't
Mm-mm. Okay, so, oh yeah, I guess you can do whatever. All right. Hello, everyone. Good morning, wherever you're at. We are on the East Coast, so it is still morning for us. So, can you hear me?
Now I think we can hear you.
Oh, you couldn't hear me before? Okay. We're working through some technical stuff. Okay. Hi. Hello. Good morning.
Morning, everyone.
I
got that.
I am Monique.
And I'm Zach.
And we wanted to start this series because I'm an energy healer, spiritual mentor, and Zach has been doing this work on his own before me for years. I kind of just gave it some substance, and together we have just seen this work totally transform our lives. Mine for sure, his for sure.
Yeah, it's been a journey that I have sought out my whole life, getting over my limiting beliefs, getting over my problems in my head, how I, as an entrepreneur, I get more motivated every day because no one's telling me what to do other than me and my mind and everything that's in there. So I've been working on this for years and years and years. And then I happened to meet this lovely lady here who specializes in all of that. Holy smokes. So it's just like, all right, let's take and get a PhD on this type of stuff. And why don't I marry her in the process? Because that seems pretty cool and useful for a happy rest of your life.
Yeah, which that even fell into the whole energy healing thing. So, like I said, we wanted to create this series. So this series will actually build on each other. There will be some classes that if you want to accept it, if you guys have lots of questions or there are themes that come up, we will totally create classes around common questions, common themes, anything like that. But ultimately, our goal is for it to build on each other because there will be recordings. So if you register, you'll get access to the recordings as well. And so for this our first class, the ultimate goal that we want you to walk away with today is having the self-awareness of simple things that you can do to shift your vibrational frequency. And I'm going to talk about what that is. And so you can start implementing things today to start seeing the results that you want to see, to start experiencing what you want to experience. And then we'll go through some more tangible exercises and things that you can incorporate into your day to day as this series builds. But we can't do anything without the self-awareness around what it is that we want to do. So that's going to be our focus today. And we have lots of good stuff that we want to talk with you about. So we're going to talk about our backgrounds and how we kind of got into this first very quickly, and then we'll get into the meat of everything, the fun stuff. And then we're actually going to open up the floor for any questions. And if you have questions while we're talking or if something's really resonating, please, please, please utilize the chat box. We have it up so we can see. So if there's something that comes up, I always encourage people, if you're thinking it, you're not the only one. There's a reason we're all here together. And so if something is coming up, then please utilize the chat box. We can either answer it on the spot or we can we'll address it at the end. Like we said, this is an hour long, so we're going to keep it as close to an hour as possible. If we happen to run over, we will notify you. We want to respect your time, so you can slip on out. You'll have the recording when this is all said and done. But we're going to keep this as close to an hour as possible. And I think that's about it.
That's good. Gave them some expectations, talked about the fact it's going to build on each other every week. We'll have some one-off types of things, but it's been a long journey. And so there's no way in heck we could condense it into 1 week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks. I mean, this is a lifelong practice that you need to incorporate if you really want to attract all this happiness and all these positive things that you really want in your life. It's a lifelong practice. So
Yes.
that's the fun thing. So we're going to be with you for a long time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we just want to give to you guys, give, see a lot of happy results from everything. And we'll just go from there.
And this is also our first live that we're doing together. So this will be fun.
This will be fun, interesting and fun.
Differently. He's very logic minded. I'm very intuitive, flowy. He's the planner. And so this will be fun. So yeah, so we're so happy you guys are here, and let's go ahead and get started. So I actually wanted to start this off by giving you guys some expectations around the words that I'm going to use today and moving forward. So when I say like vibrational frequency, everything in the universe is vibrational. We are energetic. We are composed of atoms. Atoms vibrate at a frequency. And so we are energy, basically. We are more energy than we are matter, as is everything around us. And so what happens is when we vibrate at a certain frequency, then we are exposed to other energies at that similar frequency. And that's how we create our reality. We're going to talk about all of this as the series goes on. I just want to kind of give you this tidbit right now. And so we live in a vibrational universe. So everything is vibrating at a frequency. When you align to a certain frequency of vibration at the very basic level, when you align to a certain frequency of vibration, that is the frequency that you are now a magnet for. We are electromagnetic. We are sending out impulses into the universe. We are sending out little pings into the universe, like little texts into the universe. And then our emotional body, our energy field is pulling those experiences into us. Now we experience this via our reticular activating system in our subconscious mind, the part of our brain that, say you started dating someone and they drive a red Mustang and all of a sudden you're seeing red Mustangs everywhere. That is that part of the brain. So now we're aligning to that frequency. So we're more aware of the possibilities that are around us. And I refer to Zach as an expander because he's going to help you all really see what is possible for you through this series and really expand your mindset, because we don't know what we don't know. So our goal is to really rock your world and bring in so many things and so many mindset shifts and energetic alignment shifts that really teach you so you can fully embody that anything is truly possible. Right, babe?
Absolutely, babe. So, I mean, where she's more that intuitive person and she's feeling everything out, I'm definitely the thinker, the pragmatic person. So if any of you people are like that, we're going to have a wonderful time together. I'll be able to relate to you. You'll be able to relate to me. And we'll give you some actionable type of stuff that I've been using, that I developed, that I've been needing as that person that thinks things through, that needs to really move in that practical application style of living, even though I am stretching myself and living more in that intuitive lifestyle. So it's a little bit of both, and we'll bring that balance. And yeah, I mean, for me, I don't know, you probably all aren't real estate investors, but I would say, hey, real estate investing is a pretty awesome thing. It makes the most amount of millionaires in the world. 90% of millionaires came from real estate, owning real estate, and 90% of those, so 80% altogether, were self-starting. So just like me, I started with no money, no credit, and lo and behold, I was able to build a real estate empire where we can live comfortably and do whatever we want on a daily basis. And so now at this point, it's stretching that even further, realizing that part of our why is that we like to help other people in this world. That's definitely something that resonates with me, that fills me up to the whole, is just helping other people and watching other people get expanded. That's why I love expanding everyone. It's like, all right, let's think bigger, because bigger is usually easier, surprisingly enough, especially with that mindset, but like bigger is easier as opposed to bootstrapping smaller types of things that you stumble through the pains.
Yeah. And there's even an energetic reason for that. And so going back to these basics of everything is energy, right? You, me, the universe, everything. And we're always attracting like frequencies to us and repelling frequencies that are not a match for us. This is why, as you start evolving on your journey, this shows up in our physical reality as maybe you are friends with someone and there's a tension between you and you're not really sure why. You guys are just vibrating at different frequencies, or maybe you have a business partner and now there's tension between you and just like shit's starting to hit the fan, right? And you're just like, what is going on? And that's an energetic misalignment. Or there's something that you thought was going to work out and it just didn't work out. Energetic misalignment. And sometimes these misalignments are realigning us with something better. So my goal for this series and for all of you who are here is to really expand your mind into the possibility that if it's not this, it's something better. And if it's something that I wanted to work out, and it's not working out, that's just divine realignment. And so you're always going to have what's meant for you. You can't miss what is meant for you. And if you are connecting more to your true self, which is the goal of energy healing and energetic alignment, just to connect more to who you actually are without all of the conditioning, then you're going to have what's meant for you. You cannot not have what's meant for you when you are being you. I explain it as like you're a lighthouse, and the more connected to you are, and the less you're doing things that you've learned or that you've been conditioned to believe you have to do, then your light gets brighter. And as your light gets brighter, the ships that are meant to find your lighthouse are able to find it more easily. And that's when at first your light's a little foggy. And so when your light's a little foggy and you're like, you're stepping into this self-development process or this self-healing process or this mindset process, and your light's a little foggy, and you're like, oh my gosh, this feels so difficult. Like I'm supposed to have all these ships here and none of them are here. I don't understand what's happening. But as you start healing your emotional wounds and you start shifting your limiting beliefs, which we're all going to talk about, Zach's great about talking about that. And you start expanding your possibilities and you start paying attention to the words that you're speaking and what you're putting out into the universe and all that density, because it's all just different frequencies of vibration and those lower vibrating emotions that don't feel good in our body and those thoughts that we think that don't feel good in our body, then they start to release from our field because we're paying attention to them more. Then your light gets brighter. And as your light gets brighter, then more ships can come in. It seems like you're not doing anything. And that's what Zach was saying is going bigger is actually easier because you are more of you and you have more clarity and you have a clearer vision of what it is that you want and what you want from life. So therefore you're sending more direct text messages out to the universe and the universe can then respond to you accordingly.
So like a practical application of that is when I go to OREA recently, I'm networking with people anywhere. Before it might be me trying to think of, all right, what's the best path to move forward to make money right now, if I need money right now versus like long-term money. But that's a whole scarcity abundancy mindset start with all of that. But I don't even look for specific information anymore. When I'm meeting a bunch of people and networking, I literally just reach out to everyone. I'm like, what are you looking for here? They ask me. I'm like, I'm just looking to meet with like-minded, kind-hearted, loving people in this world that are looking to help other people have a great time and make money in real estate, you know? And so I say that, and I'll say love, maybe even a couple more times too, so that if they resonate with that, they come right towards me at that point. And if that sounds a little too frou-frou and not something like, oh, I just want to make money, I don't really care about this love you're talking about, well, then shucks, turn around and walk the other way. You know, so it's like, I want to align myself with those people that fill me up every day like that. And so that's one shift that I've learned to do, is not think it through so much, and is just put that out there, that this is what I want to attract. This is how I want to live in the life and show up. And then I only surround myself with those people, because the beautiful thing about that is at that point, it's not a matter of you're wondering like, oh, can I do something with this person or not? Or can I make money with this person? No. With someone that you vibrate with on a deep level like that, your core values and all of your everything that makes you that wonderful human being, when you're doing that, the whole question shifts. The question shifts of, can we work together, to how many ways can we work together at that point? Because there is no. It's just it's too easy. So like, why would there be a no? It's just, we can work together. It's just how many ways then at that point. And then that just opens that up to a whole bunch of possibilities and a happy interaction with the two of you.
Yeah, definitely. And something that Zach just touched on is, So getting into that energetic alignment of this is the type of person that I am, these are the type of people that I want to attract into my experience, and like bottom line. So just feel, so one thing I always teach my clients is that your body is a beautiful oracle, and your body is a wonderful tool to use to understand if you are in energetic alignment with your true self, because our body is our connection to our soul frequency, our truth, our heart, right? When we feel in love, where do we feel it? We feel it in our body. When we feel upset, where do we feel it? In our body. So we're feeling that emotional energy in our body, and our body is making it a physical experience. So you can tell that you're in energetic alignment when you feel more open, you feel light, you feel expanded. And so it's just asking yourself this question of what Zach was just saying is, does it feel better to think of, well, I don't know if I want to say this because I don't know how this person's going to take it. As I speak these words, just feel the experience that your body is having. I don't know if I want to say this because I don't know how these people are going to take it. And I don't know if I'm really going to fit in. Or what if I say the wrong thing and then that person doesn't like me, and so I just messed up a deal? Or what if I say the wrong thing and that person doesn't like me, and then we end up not going on another date, or we end up not talking again? Or what if I say the wrong thing and whatever? Do you just feel the collapse that happens in your body versus, well, actually, I know who I am, and getting to know me is a privilege. And anyone that comes into my space is privileged to be in my energy because I'm so grounded in who I am. And if they don't like what I have to say, or we don't resonate on some level, then that's beautiful, because we're not meant to connect then. And that's totally okay. Do you feel the release, like the weight that it just takes off of your shoulder just for that perspective shift? So energetic alignment is simply getting into alignment with you. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not used to talking with the microphone, but with you, getting into alignment with who you are at your core level. And you know if you're in alignment with your truth because it feels good in your body. Like when we think things to ourselves of, well, they're going to reject me, or I wasn't good enough, or I'm not worthy enough, or I'm not ready for this. It doesn't feel good in our body, right? Does that feel good in anybody's body when I say that? I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy enough. I don't know if I'm ready for this. Oh, this happened because I'm a mess up. I'm a screw up, right? That probably feels good in nobody's body. And it does that because it's none of our truth. It's not our ultimate truth, because our ultimate truth is in alignment with that soul energy, that heart energy. So that's why it feels so good to believe in the possibility of, I could do this. This is something that I'm ready for. I am good enough. And if it's not this, then it's something better is going to come from this. And so getting into energetic alignment is finding those truths in the statements that we speak. Because when I was saying everything is a vibrational frequency, you are too. And the three things that make up your overall vibrational frequency are the beliefs that you think, the emotions that you feel, and the words that you speak. And together, those three things create a baseline of your overall vibrational frequency that you're constantly emitting out into the universe. Okay. And out into people around you. Like Zach and I are in each other's vibrational fields right now. And so we're emitting the words that I'm speaking. He's probably vibing on them. And I see him shaking his head, yes, because my words, he's feeling them, right? You guys are feeling my words. We're constantly exchanging energy with people, with places, with situations. Everything has a vibrational signature. And you are engaging with that energy when you're close to someone in proximity, or when you're engaging like this, like we are intentionally in this space together. We've created this container together, and we're intentionally connected. Energy is driven through intention. You are intentionally here for a reason. Therefore, we're all exchanging energy. This is the same thing that happens out in the world. This is why someone walks by you and you feel, and you're like, oh, I don't really want to talk to that person. Or, oh, I'm not really feeling this person. Someone walks into a room and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know that person, but I want to, right? You're feeling their energy. We communicate with energy before anything. And when we are in energetic alignment with our true self, and when we can have the beliefs that back that, the emotions that back that, and we speak the words that back that energetic alignment with our true self, we literally we vibrate into a room, and everyone in that room is just like, something just shifted in this space. And it's only because you were there, because you are so connected with your truth. And that's like my ultimate goal, is I want to get you guys there. I want to get you to this point where you feel so grounded in just the truth of who you are and unapologetic in that truth, and that you feel the confidence and you have the clarity to be able to know, this is the deal I want. This is what I want. This is what I'm going for. And it's going to be that, or I'm going to get something better out of it. And I saw, Melissa, you said, I think my lighthouse is off, or yeah, I think my light is out. Nobody's light is out. We would be dead. Nobody's light is out, but there may be some fogginess around there, but that fogginess is just that conditioning. It's just a conditioning that we've all experienced through our life, because from ages of 0 in utero to 7, now some people think closer to 10 to 12 years old, our brain is vibrating at a frequency that is, it's very impressionable. And so our brain is impressionable. It takes everything as truth. So some of us have more truths that we've been conditioned to believe that don't serve us. We're aware that they're not serving us, but we feel stuck because we're like, well, crap, how do I get into something that does serve me? Right. And Zach, he experienced this throughout his life, so much so that you did that year of patience.
Oh my gosh. I mean, so entrepreneurship is a journey in general. And so, yeah, it was 2017. I remember I was in a line for Home Depot trying to do something with a coupon, doing something at customer service. The whole darn thing took way too long, hours out of my day. And I'm just like, this is not my highest and best use right now, going back and forth, stupid Home Depot stuff, whatever, as a real estate investor. But anyway, so fast forward through all of that. But as I'm driving back and forth, I'm like, why? I'm noticing in myself, like, why am I getting so irritated about some stupid line? And it's just, okay, I need to have a little bit more patience in my life. I mean, because this isn't serving me. I'm getting upset at what? What am I getting upset at, right? It's dumb, but it affected my whole day. And I could remember getting more and more throughout the weeks impatient with things, and just like, oh, I got to be doing more things to whatever with my business, generate money for this, get this thing all set up, this project, everything in my head. I'm standing here waiting in line. I said, no, like I got in my car, I played Christmas music at the time, because I don't know, of everything else, like Christmas music just is like, you can't be unhappy with Christmas music a lot of the time. So that was one of my go-tos. I'm like, okay, but then I'm just like, what if I had something that was better than this? What if I didn't need to play Christmas music? What if my internal soul was just resonating Christmas music throughout everything the whole time? And if some of you meet me right now, you might be like, wow, that guy's so happy and so positive and everything like that. I've had a lot of trauma in my life. I've gone through tons of things. My gosh, I won't say more than everyone or anyone, but it's a lot. I'll just tell that. And so maybe I'll share some more as we go with everything, but it was a lot. So what I realized was like, I need to just focus on one thing. If I can focus on that word patience for the whole year, I bet something good will happen from that. Like, this is on my journey of energetic alignment and mindset. There's lots of different things that I was working through at the time, but it's just like, focus on that one patience for the whole year, and just being self-aware. Whenever I felt not impatient, I'm like, okay, wait, no, and just breathe through that. And I'm like, Christmas music in my head, whatever, get to that point. And it was monumental in just changing how I showed up every day to everyone, that even the people in line, I'm just like, oh, I'm happy to them, like, hey, what's up? I know, make their day a little bit happier. To the people that were close to me in my life, you can imagine I could hold more space for them. And I was a little more patient for them when they were having any issue that they were getting all crazy in their mind and things. I can be that silo of calm and patience and hold that space for them at that time. And the same thing happened in the people that worked for me in business and the people that worked with me in business, and every single person that I interacted with, I could just bring them down a little more calm, a little more happy, and just more possibilities were created because of that, because everyone isn't vibrating up here, all anxious energy. Oh, what's going to be the next thing for me? No, we got this. We'll figure this out. Maybe we have to take one pause to do this, but like have that patience. And that patience allowed me to open up my world to a whole bunch of other things, because it's just like, if you can have that patience, well, then you can see things happening around you. You can attract that energy of everything around you because you don't need that thing right now. I am patient for it. I might want it now, and I can pull it closer to me faster if it's something I truly want, but I can be patient and I can let it show up exactly when it needs to show up, right on time. And it feels so whole, and I feel so thankful when everything shows up. And it's just, everything becomes easier, and I'm in a space of gratitude and patience and calm versus one of expecting something and just impatient anxiety and all of that. And that makes, man, that makes every cell in your body just want to scream. I tell you ever feel that anxiety and just like, it's like your whole body is just shaking, from everything. That's not serving anyone. And that is restricting you from attracting your goals that you're trying to get in life. It's pushing them away, so luckily I practiced that, and that was an interesting practice that I just happened to decide to do at the time on my journey. But so it's little things like that, where I've had lots of things on my journey that I've stumbled across and incorporated into my life, and then I stumbled across her wonderfulness. And I mean, guys, if you don't know, she has a master's of public health. And so she understands the nitty gritty specifics of I would say the cerebral side of public health and everything, and how that doesn't serve a lot of us, the public health sector. And she had to go and seek out external ways of dealing with things in her life. So she went beyond that. But what she's great at, guys, is she's so smart, and she's so great at bridging that really intellectual side of it to that more esoteric, floaty, ambiguous, not very well defined, because there isn't a scientific practice that's behind that, because it's not mainstream medicine.
And that's what I love. Thank you, honey. That's what I love about all of this, is there is so much science to back this up. And I wasn't going to do this, but I'm intuitively kind of picking up on this, and I would really love to do an exercise with you all. And we're going to do exercises throughout this series, because it's so important to not only hear the words that we're speaking, but to really integrate this and to practice it yourself. So this first exercise, just as I share a little bit about what Zach was just saying, where I was and how I got into this space, I would love for you to just put in the chat box, just 1, 2, 3, just the top emotion or emotions that you're feeling in your life right now that are kind of blocking you from really moving forward. Like for Zach, it was that anxiety, that anger, that frustration. And where in your life, what emotions in your life would you feel are like your biggest struggles, your biggest challenges? Like for me, I would say it's just being hard on myself. So it's that pressure that I put on myself. And emotion wise, I've overwhelmed. So I would love for you to put that in the chat box as I just kind of explain, because that's going to lead into the second part of this exercise I want to do with you all. And like Zach was saying, I have a master's in public health. And when I was going through my master's program, I was very, very sick. I had multiple chronic illnesses. I was about 35 pounds heavier than I am now. And I was 23 or 24. No, I was 24 at the time. And I'm thinking to myself, like, oh my gosh, I am in my early 20s. Like, I cannot live the rest of my life like this. I was on multiple medications, and I just didn't see me getting off any of these medications anytime soon. So I dove into nutrition, dove into exercise, and I changed my diet, and I was like the healthiest person that I knew on the outside. So I was eating really healthy. I was exercising multiple times a week. And I was really, really sure that I was very aware of how much sleep I was getting. And I was still really sick, and I wasn't losing weight. And so I just kind of put it out there. I didn't really have any religious beliefs at the time. I was not spiritual, but I just put it out there like, I need help. Randomly was led to this podcast, listened to this podcast, went to Costa Rica, learned what emotional healing and energy healing was, totally transformed my life. And I learned that like my internal state was creating my external reality and my external expression of my body. And so instead of focusing on the food and the exercise, because I was also suffering with binge eating, and I was very bulimic for about 7 or 8 years. And I'm like, how am I going to heal this? Because I have to eat food. It's something I have to deal with every day. Like, it's not an addiction that I could just not go to the store and not buy cigarettes or not buy alcohol. Not downplaying that. I know that those are very hard addictions, but food is something like, it's in my house. It's everywhere I'm at. Like, I have to eat it to literally live. And so I remember thinking that to myself, and I'm like, something has to change. So instead of focusing on the external and what I was doing, the diet, the exercise, the medicine, I'm like, something has to shift internally. And that's when I was introduced to the inner healing work and the energy healing work and the emotional healing work. And that is what I want to lead into this exercise. And through that work, I was able to heal myself. I was able to get off my medicines. I was able to lose weight effortlessly. Within a month, I lost about 10 pounds, and then the rest just fell off. I work out a fraction of what I used to, because I was doing like 2 a days. And I eat still, I'm still very aware of what I eat, but it's because I want to eat that way. I'm not forcing myself to do anything. We're going to talk more about the energy in which you act and how that dictates the outcome. We're going to talk about that in a later episode of this, but that's so important, where I used to eat from this fear of gaining weight. And so therefore I would gain weight, when the outcome of me eating would be gaining weight, because that's what I was programming my cells to do. Our cells are really freaking smart. Now I eat because I'm fueling my body. I eat because I enjoy the food. I eat because I care about my body. And I want to experience this, I want to experience like the taste of the food and the texture and whatever. It's a completely different experience for me. I'm no longer bulimic or I no longer binge eat or anything like that. So I really I want you all, if you're struggling in any area of your life, know that this work can totally transform your life 100%. And so I'm seeing on here, there's overwhelm, fear, imposter syndrome. Oh my gosh, yes. Self-doubt, anxiety, impatience. Totally feel that. Totally feel the impatience part. Not trusting. Yeah. Fear of trust, belief that I don't do enough, self-doubt, feeling that I'm not enough. So feel that as I'm speaking that, just feel that in your body. Okay. So what I want you all to experience here. Yeah. I'm the wannabe. Food problem too. Yeah. Definitely. And so there are 2 of them here, and no worries about that. And so and I want you to know, it doesn't matter what the external issue is. It's always going to come back internally. And with just some simple things that we're going to address over this series, we'll be able to shift some of this stuff. Okay. So everything is on a vibrational frequency level. All right. So at the baseline, we have neutral, we have neutrality zone. Okay. So underneath that is what feels heavy, what feel dense. So emotional wise, this would be our fear, our imposter syndrome, our self-doubt, our anxiety, our overwhelm, our stress, our anger, our frustrations, our procrastination, our perfectionism, our shame, our guilt, our grief, right? So underneath the neutral zone, we have these heavier emotional frequencies.
Oh my gosh, just hearing all those words of those things, it just makes me feel a little
yeah. So just feel that. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Okay. So we're feeling all that terribleness right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Heavy.
In the body, right?
Absolutely.
Experience that your body is having. Okay. So notice the experience that your body's having as I say this. So when we embody these emotions, when we're feeling these emotions, and then we think thoughts that contribute to these emotions of, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I shouldn't be here. And we're going to go more into this next week. So I'm not going to spend too much time on this right now, because this will be the topic of next week, but this will be a little teaser for you. Then, okay, so feel that in your body, right? So what happens here is when we're holding on to these emotions and we feel shame around feeling these emotions. So I'm assuming, honey, when you were feeling that anxiety and that frustration and anger, you probably weren't telling a lot of people that you were feeling that.
Oh, shoot. I didn't tell a darn person. No. So I was carrying all that myself. So it just literally snowballed, got worse every time, bigger. And that's when it got to the point I'm like, holy smokes. Wow, something's got to happen. Something's got to get this all cleared out from me. Otherwise, something real bad's going to happen.
Yeah.
And my whole business will fail. And then I won't be able to support the people that I love, which is what my why is in this world. So, yeah.
So embodying these emotions, whether it's out of ignorance or out of conditioning or because we feel shame and expressing them, like how many of us have told ourselves, I shouldn't be feeling this right now, or I need to get over this right now, right? So we've all been hard on ourselves and have felt that. So we're sending that energy is being sent to our cells. Our cells respond energetically. This is called epigenetics. Our cells respond to the environment in which we give them. So the thoughts that we think and the emotions that we feel are sending little messages to our cells. Okay. So our cells are responding to that. This is why when I would think the things that I would think and feel the way that I was feeling about the food that I was eating, it didn't matter how many salads I ate. I wasn't losing weight. I was gaining it because what I was embedding into the action was fear of gaining weight. And so when we do this, and then we're holding on to these emotions and we're acting like Zach was standing in line, he's getting so angry, we're attracting those experiences to us. We are attracting those experiences that are going to cause more anger to pop up, that are going to cause more frustration to pop up, that's going to cause more imposter syndrome to pop up, that's going to cause more guilt or shame to pop up. Why? Because our bodies are really freaking intelligent and it's trying to get us to purge that energy because it knows that we're not meant to live below neutral. We're meant to pop down here occasionally because we're humans and we're having that human experience. And a part of that is feeling our emotions, but we're not meant to live here. How many of us have been so hard on ourselves because something fell through or because something didn't turn out the way that we thought that it should have, right? And then we just keep ourselves down here like a bobber with a weight on it. What happens when you release the weight? The bobber wants to pop back up above the surface, right? And so all of these heavy emotions that we feel in our body or we're not feeling, but they're just embedded into our body. We're repressing them because we don't feel safe enough to feel them. We feel shame around them. Like Zach was saying, he wasn't expressing that to anybody. Then our overall vibrational frequency begins to lower. And then therefore we begin to become attracted to because we're focusing on those emotions. We're focusing on the anger. We're focusing on the frustration. We're focusing on the lack of self-belief. We're focusing on the fear. So because we're spending so much of our unconscious energy focused on that frequency, that's what we are seeing more of in our reality. So we're going to find more ways to feel angry. We're going to find more ways to feel frustrated. We're going to find more ways to feel helpless and overwhelmed and stressed.
And it's your subconscious. So
Yes.
it's something that you can't really address with your conscious self,
Yes.
or it's just a very minor, you're going to scratch it and your subconscious is going to be like, well, you scratched me a little bit, but like, I know the truth. My
Yes.
subconscious thoughts are exactly it. I mean, and it's just something that's super, super powerful when you can get over that.
Yeah. And so a way to begin getting over this, is to first ask yourself, how do I want to feel? So I'm going to ask you guys that next. So how do you want to feel? If your goals were achieved, if you had everything that you wanted in your life, or just that one thing that you've been focusing on, how would that feel? Please use the chat box to write in how that would feel as I go into the next part of this exercise. So how would that feel in your body? Whether that's an emotion or a sensation, go ahead and write it in the chat box. So going back to that frequency of vibration, the levels of energy, right? So we have this neutral zone. So when we get above the neutral zone, then we start experiencing things like satisfaction, appreciation, gratitude. We start experiencing things like bliss, love, joy. We start experiencing things like excitement. We start experiencing things like enlightenment. That would be at the very top of it, right? And so when we get to this space where we can recognize that our emotions are all on a frequency and that it resonates with every other experience that we pull into our life, because what happens when we have a memory of things? We remember how it felt. We very rarely remember the actual experience, but we remember how that experience made us feel, because the outcome of a situation is an emotion. Okay. The outcome of a situation is an emotion. And so some of these that I want to read off to you guys. So go ahead and feel how this feels in your body when I say these words: free, peaceful, light, expansive, blissful, thankful, grateful, happy, bright, calm, joyful, proud, light, secure, liberated, safe, calm, serene. Oh, that's a good one. Serene, happy, right? Joyful, just feeling into that energy. So can you feel the difference when I say words like free, peaceful, joyful, excited, at peace, okay? Like even words like okay and proud, they might not give as much as an expansion as like light, joyful, peaceful, happy, blissful, in love, trusting, surrendered, right? Do you guys feel the difference in your body? I know you can.
Oh, I do. Yeah. I got a little wave that just came up through me and to my head.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
absolutely.
so the words that I'm speaking, they're carrying the vibration of the emotion with them because we associate words with different things. So like I said, remember those three things that impact our vibrational frequency: thoughts, emotions, and words. Okay.
Well, slow down. Thoughts,
Yes.
emotions.
The thoughts that we think,
Okay.
the beliefs that we have, whether they're conditioned or we've reconditioned them.
Okay.
Emotions. So the emotions that we're repressing, like those heavier emotions that we repress, as well as the emotions that we want to feel, as well as the emotions that we are currently feeling about a situation, and words.
And words.
The words that we speak to ourselves, to others in conversation, the words that we receive from TV, from music, they're all carrying a vibrational frequency with them. And the more that we absorb, the more they are impacting our unique vibrational frequency.
Yeah. Yeah. We've got one of those little boards in our kitchen that you can put the little words on to say happy birthday or whatever. And it's still a little leftover from Halloween, but it says cast happy spells on it, because the words that you say all around, you're casting spells, whether you realize it or not. So realize it, number one, and then be intentional about it. You know, what you say to your kids, what you say to your loved ones, what you say to your business partners, what you say to yourself. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And yes. And so what I would love for us all to do for a moment is, excuse me, is the oneness. Yes, oneness, because that's union, right? Connection. That's why we're all here. We're here to come back into union with ourself, come back into oneness with our truth, be in union and connection with those that we love and like-minded individuals, right? Feel the power in that word. So go ahead and you can just close your eyes for a moment and just really focus on the word or words of emotions that you ended up writing. Or maybe there was another one that you resonated with. I'll go through and read them again and just feel these in your body: free, peaceful, light, blissful, thankful, grateful, happy, bright, calm, joyous, secure, liberated, safe, serene, surrendered, one, in oneness, in union, connected, trusting. And just take a few breaths. Maybe it might feel good to put your hand on your heart. Content. And just take a few breaths as you breathe in the energy of these emotions, whichever one's resonating with you. And just feel that in your body. And you can go ahead and when you're ready, open your eyes and put in the chat box how that feels in your body. For me, it feels very light and expansive.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Free, lots of possibilities that I can tackle whatever it is that I want to tackle today. That
yes.
I feel very capable, very empowered. Yeah. Without limitations.
Yes. Yes. Feels warm. Yes. Yes. It's from this place that we are connected more so to our truth than those other emotions. So we are connected to our truth when we remember that these emotions, when we remember what I am focusing on and how it's going to feel when I get there, we're connected to these emotions. We're connected to our truth. So from this place, we can take action forward. and know that it will be in greater energetic alignment with who we actually are than from the place of, oh, I don't know if this is going to work out. Oh, I don't know if I'm good enough to do this. Oh, I don't know if I'm meant to do this, but screw it. I'm just going to suck it up and do it anyways. Right? Why? Because who else is smiling? Yes,
Yeah,
I know.
yeah. I'm
Yeah, I
smiling.
feel that. And so it's just, you can feel the shift in your body. This is how powerful we are. When we can shift internally, our external circumstances will change, but it is an internal game. Why? Because when we are embodied in our power, we are powerful.
Mm.
When we decide that I'm going to feel good no matter what, because literally everyone on this call, you all just made yourselves feel good. You all just stepped into your power for no other reason other than you decided to. Right? That is embodied power. That's you being in your sovereign power, stepping into your personal sovereignty.
Mm.
And to really connect to our truth and to be in energetic alignment, that is what we want. No more circumstantial power where I'm going to wait for this thing to happen until I feel good. I'm going to wait for this thing to happen until I feel peaceful. That's what you did, babe. You decided I'm going to stand in my power and feel this patience, feel this peace, regardless if I'm in a line where everything is pissing me off.
Yeah, that's right. Because, I have the power to do that. I'm in control of my thoughts. I'm the master of my thoughts. That's one of my first affirmations I tell myself when I wake up every day. I'm the master of my thoughts. I'm the master of my thoughts. I control my thoughts. I am the master of my thoughts. So take charge of that. And you can think whatever you want at that point, but you want to do that before you take that action.
Yes.
Because otherwise you're going to take action through that clouded lens, and you're going to attract things like your fears and your self-doubts, and you're going to be like, well, yep, nothing works out for me. Look, there's another example. This thing didn't work out for me. Or, oh, I'm trying to lose weight, and man, I eat salads, and I'm running, and I'm doing this, and I no matter what I do, I can't lose weight.
Yes.
You ever hear yourself telling yourself that? I have. I've heard myself telling myself that in the
Yes.
past. And so now it's just like I can eat whatever I want, and I enjoy working out when I want to,
Mhm.
and I don't have an issue with weight gain or anything like
Yes,
that.
because we trust ourselves, we trust our body. And that is something that you said you were feeling that it'll come to me. But that is so important, is that it's that energy of why we are doing what we're doing. Okay. Why are you doing what you're doing? Are you doing it because you're trying to prove something? Are you doing it because you feel fearful of the alternative? Are you doing it because you want to feel good and you want other people to feel good? So why are you doing what you're doing? And how is that impacting you on a greater scale? Okay. So yeah, Nathan, you're going to add that affirmation. So we actually have some affirmations that we're going to be pulling together and giving to you guys eventually as well.
Yeah, affirmations can be
because
whole.
they're so powerful. We're going to talk about that in another series. It might actually be next week. So we're going to talk about limiting beliefs and stuff next week.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's a good thing. I like to start with it because it's that whole reprogramming, and
yeah,
I love that.
So because we are approaching the 50-minute mark, if anyone has any questions or comments about anything, go ahead and put them in the chat box now. If you have anything that you would want us to address. But I do just want to, because next week, so I want to talk about what we're going to talk about next week real quick, and then we're going to finish this up. So next week, we're going to talk about how you can reprogram your limiting beliefs. Oh, this is what you were saying. I knew it would come back. So yes, consciously, we're thinking, I want to lose weight. I want to make this amount of money. I want to be in this relationship. I want to feel safe. And we're using our willpower to try to do that. That's great. But your subconscious programming is going to overpower your willpower any minute of any day of the week.
It's a giant force that is, so much bigger than your conscious mind. Everything that's happening in your subconscious is just a million times more than your conscious mind. So your conscious mind doesn't have a chance at the end of the day, but your conscious mind is able to make decisions and put some actions into place so that it can overcome those issues and reprogram your subconscious mind. Because then once you get your subconscious mind where you want it to be, your conscious mind has to follow along anyway. So
Yes.
you'll be able to push through all of those limiting belief situations and fears and self-doubt with the power of your subconscious mind aligned with your energetic goals.
Yes.
Super fun.
And what a lot of people don't realize is that the subconscious, it presents itself through the body. So through the feelings that you feel about what you're doing, about how you're moving forward, about, oh yeah, Nathan, we'll bring you up. So your subconscious does not show itself into your mind like your conscious mind does. Our conscious mind will think beliefs and it will think things and it will tell us thoughts. The subconscious shows up through how we feel about what we're doing, how we feel about where we're going, how we feel about whatever the situation is, ourselves. So we have to go through the body to reprogram the subconscious mind. We can't cerebrally think things through when it's an emotional issue. Okay, so that's what we're going to go into next week, because the thoughts that we think create feelings in the body, and the feelings that we feel create more thoughts that we think, and it's a feedback loop. So we're going to go in how to break that feedback loop, how to put in some pattern disrupts in there so you can really actually shift your subconscious mind, thus shifting your overall vibrational frequency, thus shifting the words that you're going to tell yourself, the emotions that you feel about yourself, and the thoughts that you think about yourself and the life that you're living in the world around you, thus changing your reality, right? So that's what we're going to go into more deeply next week. But we want to do questions. So Nathan, we want to bring him up.
Sure. Lower hand.
Ask to unmute.
Here we go.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Hey, so I know this might be for like a later Zoom, but I'm gonna ask it anyway.
Yeah.
So I guess for as far as I guess kind of jumping ahead and manifesting things, and once you feel that you're at that step where you're on the right vibration, you're in the right mindset and everything, and you are trying to manifest things into your reality, I guess, do you, as a spiritual healer, is that what you called yourself? Okay, would you say the most important thing is feeling and visualizing whatever you're trying to accomplish, and actually feeling that feeling of having that accomplishment? Is that probably the most important thing, or is that definitely something that you have to do to manifest it?
Okay, wonderful question. I love talking about manifesting. We're definitely going to be talking about this in later calls.
I love manifesting.
Yes, and Zach is a wonderful man. Zach is a wonderful manifestor.
I just manifested something last night. Literally, there was a little lottery ticket thing that we had at our AC Real Estate Investors Association last night, and there were prizes they were giving away. And it's just like, I don't need anything that's here, but I just told a couple people right around me, I'm like, I'm going to try something. I'm just like, all right, universe, energy, everything around me, I want to, like bring it towards me right now. Literally, it was. I was the next number that they called. I don't know if it was 5 seconds or 10 seconds, but it definitely wasn't 60 or 30 seconds. Literally, the people that were right next to me, their jaws dropped. I mean, they're like, are you kidding me? Because everyone wanted something, it's like, it's fun, but literally just doing fun little manifestations allows you to flex your muscles of your manifesting mind and your energy, just like you would go to the gym to flex it in the other way. You flex those muscles and those things can happen. So anyway, that was just something that just happened last night. And
what he said actually brought up a very important point to your question, Nathan. So ultimately, the very short answer is yes, and. So yes, it is so incredibly important to feel the emotions of already having what it is that you desire. Because why do you want what it is that you desire? Because you think you're going to feel a certain way once you get it. We want a certain amount of money because we think we're going to feel safe or free. We want a partner because we think that's when we're going to feel loved. We want certain clothes because we think that's what's going to make us feel confident. Like I was going back to that circumstantial power versus the embodied power. You can feel whatever you want anytime that you want to feel it. We just did that on this call, right? So, but ultimately, that's why we want it. So yes, practice feeling those feelings now. An exercise I give my students is say you want, we'll just use money because money, I think, is something everybody can relate to. So say you want a certain amount of money. How is that money going to make you feel? So we did that exercise here. So maybe it'll make you feel free, happy, safe, secure, confident. Maybe it will finally, you think once you get a certain amount of money, that imposter syndrome is going to go away. So what takes place with the imposter syndrome? Confidence, self-belief. So what can you do today to feel that confidence? Is it dress a certain way? Is it go to the gym and look at yourself in the mirror while you're working out? Is it how you feel after you complete a workout? Is it how you feel when you're talking to someone and you're just really talking about what you're passionate about and you feel very confident in that moment? It doesn't have to be related to what it is you actually desire. Just focus on the emotion. The emotion is what's pulling it into you. Like I said, we're electromagnetic beings. The thought is the text message. The emotion is like your antenna of how you're receiving it. So it's how you're pulling it in. So yes, Nathan, you want to feel how it is you're going to feel. And while you're visualizing it, so visualization is one step, feeling is another. Those together are very, very powerful. We'll do visualizations in here as well. But what Zach said is another incredibly important point that a lot of people overlook. And that is, he said, I didn't need to win anything. It's the importance of not needing it. You want it. So there is that level of detachment. And a wonderful example for this is relationships. When we're dating people, how many of us like a needy person at first? That codependent energy that like, hey, I just texted you 5 minutes ago and you haven't responded. Hey, I texted you. Hey, you haven't responded to my last 3 texts. Is everything okay? And they call you. Hey, I gave you a call just to check in to make sure everything's okay. Like, are you good? I haven't heard back from you. And you're like, oh my God, how am I going to get this person off of my back?
Bleh.
Right. And so it's that relationship with the universe. Cause like I said, it's all an energy. Codependent energy is codependent energy, whether it's coming from a physical person or it's coming from you to everything that's around us. It's all energy. And so that level of detachment of, I don't need this. So when we date someone and we're like, I don't need this person, I want to date and I want a partner, but I'm totally happy on my own. What does that person embody? They're embodying that confidence. They're embodying that level of they know who they are and I'm adding to their life. I'm not making their life, right? So that takes a lot of pressure off of you because it's like, well, I don't want to be everything to this person. I want them to have their life. And I just want to be a contributor to that happiness. It's the same thing. So when we can separate that codependent energy and that neediness, and we have that level of detachment of I'm good no matter what, I invite you to embody that, write it all over the place. I'm good no matter what. I'm confident. I can be confident no matter what. I can feel good no matter what. I can choose to feel happy no matter what. That gives you that embodied power to where you're vibrating at the level of your desired outcome already. Therefore, it has to come into your life. You have to receive it. Does that make sense? So it's emotion, visualization, and detachment. We'll go way deeper into this in a later call, but I just wanted to get that question. I saw that Gabby had a question. I think Danielle wants to ask something too. Mm-hmm. So we'll answer Gabby's real quick. You said that and Nathan, please let me know if that answered your question. Let me read Gabby's real quick. You said that if something, I'm sorry.
I'm
Nathan,
sorry.
go ahead.
Yeah,
no,
I had a follow-up question to that.
Oh, okay.
We can answer it really quick. I don't want to take everyone's time. So with being detached, so you were saying, so like, let's say I'm like, okay, I want, let's say $50,000. That's my thing that I decided I want today. And I'm trying to manifest that. And you said that, so I have to, I guess, think to myself, I'm good without the $50,000, but I want the $50,000. Is that what you're saying?
So right now in your life, you're good. You don't have that $50,000 right now and you're still living. You still have a roof over your head. You still have people in your life that you care about. Like that $50,000 is not making or breaking your life right now. Okay. So it's knowing that I'm good right now. I'm good no matter what. If that $50,000 comes into my life, I'm going to be freaking ecstatic and I'm going to be very happy. And right now in this moment, I'm good. Does that make sense?
Yes. So I guess my question is, another one is, do you, when you're thinking about that, I mean, that's something that's kind of hard to like visualize. So is that more of like an affirmation thing where you're like, I'm good right now, but when this comes in, I'm going to be so much happier?
So, and that's the thing. I'm going to be so much happier. So you're giving your power away to that money already.
Ah,
Therefore, you're placing that restriction, and that's going to bottleneck the pathway for that money to come into you.
got
Does that
you.
make
Okay.
sense?
So using things, I guess, how would I word that then? Or mm, how would I say that?
So I hear, I feel what you're trying to say. And I also want to say that we're going to go over this next week with affirmations.
Yeah.
So we're going to go so much deeper into this, but just to quickly answer your question so we can answer the other ones too. It's just right now, just focus on I'll ask you this, and I'll ask anybody this, whoever's manifesting a goal right now, whoever wants a goal right now. And we'll talk about a definition of manifesting when we get there. Is why do you want that thing? How are you going to feel when you have that thing? Okay. What's the emotion that you're going to feel when you have that thing? And then how can you feel that emotion today? So for an example, if I have $50,000, I'm going to feel ecstatic. I'm going to feel so grateful. I'm going to feel confident. So
and calm from not having to worry
and
about
calm because
money.
I'm not like hustling, right?
Yeah.
And so how can I embody those feelings of calm, grateful, and confident today? Maybe I focus on everything I'm already grateful for. So I'm focusing on anything and everything that I'm grateful for. Confidence, maybe I decide to dress a little differently today. And then calm, am I going to rush through my day, or am I just I'm going to chill. I'm going to be grateful for this moment. I'm going to be present. So it's tuning into the emotion, the emotional outcome, because that's why we want what we want, the emotional outcome. And how can you bring that into your body right now? And then create affirmations from that. We're going to go deeper into that next week.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, so Gabby's was, you said that if a deal doesn't happen is because something better will happen, but I feel in my case, it is more I'm counter manifesting it with all my limiting beliefs and negativity. Am I right? So there's a couple things here. Again, we're going to talk about this next week because we're going to go deeper into limiting beliefs next week, and then Danielle, we got you next. So, and also it is just after 12. So want to thank everyone. If anybody has to hop off, we're just going to answer these questions and then we will call it a day. So we would love if you stay, but if you have to hop off, we totally understand. So some things that can get in the way of things not happening is our self-doubt and our lack of self-belief. However, if you truly believe that everything that is meant for you is meant for you and it cannot miss you, then something could be falling apart in front of your eyes because something bigger is trying to fall together. So this is all perspective shifts. And we're going to talk about this next week, how to shift our perspective and how to clear out some yucky limiting beliefs that might be holding us back. But if you feel that you are counter manifesting with all of your limiting beliefs and negativity, then that may be something that is happening because that's where your belief is. You believe that you are blocking yourself, ultimately, is what I'm hearing. So can you believe that everything that you're doing is what you're supposed to be doing and that your job is to believe in yourself and to think positively about whatever the outcome is? Because I'm hearing that you have limiting beliefs about yourself and you're thinking negatively. So can you counter that with positivity? So how can you be more positive in your life? And then with your limiting beliefs, which we're going to talk about how to reprogram those next week, how can you bring in more supportive beliefs? So again, what do you want? What does that person believe that already has it? So if Zach is trying to land a deal, what is the version of him that's already landed the deal believe to be true? We want to focus on that. How does that person feel about themselves? How does that person feel about the deal? Does that make sense, Gabby? So that's what we want to focus on. Again, we're just teasing this. We're going to go deeper into this next week. So if you're still a little like, I don't fully understand, it's totally okay. We're going to go deeper into it. But ultimately, if you feel like you're in your own way, then you're going to be in your own way because we are self-fulfilling prophecies.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much. Oh, you're so welcome. So we have to shift that belief of I'm not in my own way. It's either this or it's something better. like we're going to do that with beliefs. I want to talk about it so bad. 'Cause I love it.
I know. It's fun to get into that. This is more like, all right, setting a framework for everything that we're going to be talking about, introducing you guys to this
Yeah.
whole world of things and
Yeah, I'm
our
so
series.
excited for this series. Let's get to it.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
Danielle, if you have a question, let's unmute you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh.
you're in. Awesome.
Oh goodness. I think, I mean, just like listening to, I think your response to Gabby's comment. So initially I had written, I feel like I'm in this place where I understand the concept of limiting belief. Like that makes sense. I was just in this gray zone where I was trying to find the difference between why is what is happening, because of a limiting belief or because of quote reality being maybe something is just really hard, like some things are just hard and tough. So I guess my confusion was around where does the fact that is hard, like why am I feeling the way I'm feeling, because it is actually really hard versus me being held back because of a limiting belief, and where does the difference come? And this is coming from the standpoint of like real estate. It's like, it's like, yeah, my goal is to have this number of doors. It's like, well, did I not reach the goal because it was just like a tough goal or not really what was meant for me, versus no, you didn't hit the goal because of a limiting belief. So was it limiting belief, or was it because I set a goal around something that actually wasn't meant for me? So that's the space where I am, and it feels like a lot of question marks still.
You want me to take this? I got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. 'Cause
I would love to hear
we're
from both
fucking
of you.
Yeah,
No,
sure.
I got this. So there's
Okay.
there's many, many, many parts to this question. So thank you for asking. So definitely feeling some just like confusion of why is something not working out, right? So
Mm.
there are multiple parts to this. So the first thing that comes up when you ask this question is, why do you want what you want? Is it because you want it, or is it because you think you should want it? That's the first thing. So if something isn't working out for us, then we have to ask ourselves, is this something I actually want, or is it something I think I should want because it would lead to something else, or because someone else has it and they're doing wonderfully, or something like that? Because there are many, many paths to being a millionaire.
And or
right?
even like the pathway to getting that thing that you want.
Yes.
Like you might still want real estate, but like you're trying to go about it one way, but it's not in
Yes.
alignment with you
Yes.
and
Yes.
everything
Mhm.
that's inside of you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's just something to consider. Another thing would be, your beliefs around the situation, around what's happening. Like things are going to be hard. Life can be hard at times. It's just it. But can you believe that you are someone that is capable of doing hard things? One.
Mhm.
Two is, yes, this is hard. So hold on, there's a couple things that are coming through here. So if something feels very difficult, or it's like not working out, then we have to take a step back and ask, what lens am I looking at this through? So this would be a perspective shift. So we'll go deeper into this next week too, but what lens am I looking at this through? So is there another perspective that you could be looking at the problem or the issue through that would lead to a greater solution? Because like I said, everything is a frequency. Frequency of the problem, frequency of the solution are two different frequencies. So if we're only focusing on the problem and how hard this feels to figure out the problem, then we're not going to be able to be open to receiving the solution, because we're on a different operating frequency. Okay. So an example would be like, Zach, you wanted to say how you always solution seek? How many ways?
So I mean, whenever I'm looking at a problem, first of all, I change the question because I change the result that you get. And I'll challenge people that I work with. I'll challenge myself with that. It's not, can I fix this problem? How many ways can I fix this problem? If I want this possibility in the future, it's not, can this happen? It's how many ways can it happen? So if I'm even worried about $50,000 or anything like that monetary, it's not, can I make that money? Because now you're hearing your own self-doubt, like, well, I'm asking that question, so my self-doubt is saying that I might not be able to. Instead, if you ask the question of how many ways, can I attract that money towards me? Well, there's no in that answer. There's no, you can't do that. That's not what I asked myself. So I'm tricking my
Yes.
subconscious. And then you start challenging yourself. All right, well, you write down one way that you can, but the question wasn't what's the way of doing it. It's how many ways. So
Mhm.
it's literally, okay, so then come up with more and more. I've used that when I was stressed out about money because, oh my gosh, like when the whole pandemic happened and people weren't going to pay their rents potentially because there's a moratorium on evictions, on foreclosures, things like that. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to pay this hard money lender because I can't refinance because all the refinance money got really dried up and stopped overnight. So I needed certain cash flow things at that time. I'm like, all right, I need this money in the future. How many ways can I get money? Just like that. And man, I ended up having a huge list of all the different ways. When I first started thinking about it though, I'm like, oh, I can't get this money. Like, I don't even, I could feel myself stressing out about it. But after I wrote that list, holy smokes, it was like everything that you guys were writing about your happy day. I felt light. I felt free. I felt empowered. I felt like there was a path forward. In fact, I felt like there were multiple paths forward. So it was a whole shift in me at that point that was just amazing. So that's like one little
Yes.
example of how that is. Just changing your question changes the results that you get.
Yes. And I want to, because it's so important for us to understand why we're doing the things that we're doing. So why that works is because your subconscious mind, as soon as it's an excited servant, it wants to serve you, right? It's that faithful servant. So if I'm asking myself questions like, gosh, this is hard, like, how am I going to do this? Then you're already setting yourself up for failure. Can I do this? Because there's a part of you that's doubting yourself. So by shifting that question to how many ways can I do that, you are totally omitting the opportunity for yourself to look for ways that you can't, because you're not giving it an option. So if you're saying, how many ways can I get past this? How many ways can this work out? And one of those ways that something works out might be for you to walk away.
Right.
But you'll know that because you're going to lead yourself to the answer. But one thing that happens is we get really hell-bent on how we think things are going or supposed to work out in any situation, whether that be financially, romantically, relationally, physically, whatever. We get very, very attached to how we think things are supposed to work out. And if something is meant to work out a different way for us, we might not be able to see that bigger picture, that broader perspective. So by asking ourselves that question of how many ways can this work out, one, we open ourselves up to those broader perspectives. And two, the second thing that I want to say is that if we ask ourselves that question, then we're giving ourselves the opportunity we're already aligning with the solution. Right. So we're no longer in alignment with the issue. We're already shifting our alignment to the solution. So now it's just about us being able to get out of our own way and say, okay, if I trusted that I am taking action from a pure-hearted space, I am taking action because this feels in alignment right now. And I know that when I take action from this place, things always work out for my best and highest good. If it's not this, it's something better. These are beliefs that we have to learn to adopt. But if I did trust that things were working out, what action would I take right now? Would I still allow it to feel this hard? And maybe if something is feeling hard, what's the lesson that you're meant to learn right now? Because one thing that we get hyper focused on is that outcome, the end goal. But what we don't realize on a spiritual level, it's less about the outcome and more about who you become along the way to the outcome. Right? So is there a lesson that you're being asked to learn, Danielle, or is there a lesson that's unfolding in front of you? Or maybe the lesson is, like, I know for Zach and for myself, we've both worked with people where those relationships ended up going to shit. And it's like, okay, well, I put myself in this situation and now I am like kind of screwed because I have this business partner and they didn't do what they were supposed to do, but now I'm here. And how many ways can this figure itself out? How many ways can I figure this out? How many ways can I receive support through this? And also, what's the lesson here? the lesson is I need to trust myself more because something told me not to partner with this person. This is just an example. But what I'm feeling is some shame and some guilt that can come up when we get ourselves in a bind or a situation that feels very hard. We can isolate ourselves because we feel shame around it, or we can isolate ourselves because we feel guilt around what we did to get there, around us being there in the first place. Stop doing that. We have to come back into union, into connection, into communion with other people. And if we can lead with our heart and we can say, hey, like, how many ways can I receive support for this? Or how many ways can I figure this out? If one of those ways is reaching out to a friend or a family member or someone that you're connected with, do it. Like, allow yourself to be vulnerable, allow yourself to be seen. Allow yourself to be seen, allow yourself to be supported, allow yourself to not have to do this alone, because you don't have to do it alone.
And so I'd love to build on that, because Danielle, one of the first things that came up to me when you asked that question of something being too difficult. And to me, you know, I think of things that have been difficult in my life. And I'm that type of person who in the past felt like I had to figure everything out. That was one of my limiting beliefs from trauma that happened in my life, was that I had to figure out how to whatever it was so that blank wouldn't happen again, or like so that good things would happen. I had to figure it out myself. And oh my gosh, you see, this is my office. So these are all the degrees that I have on my silly wall from wasting lots of money and time trying to figure everything out yourself. You know, if you have something that's difficult, it's not necessarily your need to figure it out. One of the things that blew my mind, you know, when I finally got around, is the concept from this book, like Who Not How. You know, that whole concept is like, I didn't have to figure out how to do everything myself. Holy smokes. And the shortcut, we're not. We don't know everything. We're the more that I knew in life, the dumber I felt, because I realized I knew less and less and less and less. So get over yourselves. You know, that's what I tell my previous person. I wish I got over myself a long time ago.
Yes.
Right. So instead of learning how to do something, just know that right today, you could get that done if there was someone who knew how to do that, right? Who is that person who can leapfrog you to that next level, who can get you to that next place that you need to be? And then even from there, who's the next person that can get you there? You know, that's that whole concept. And that can just take you decades into the future. You know, that's why you guys are probably here a little bit now, is because you've got a little bit of a hope, hopefully, that we can help be that person for you. But I know some of you are going to have that same feeling that I had, that you've got to figure it out yourself. You know, well, it doesn't have to be just that way. You know, there's lots of people, like Monique was saying, you know, whether it's an emotional type of thing that you're going through, you've got tons and tons of support around you, your loved ones, your family, your friends. You don't have to experience that alone.
Because we're human, and we feel shame when things aren't turning out the way that we hope that they would, or the expectation that we placed on it.
And that we're not good enough. You know?
And all of that can come up. But if we can shift our perspective to, this is coming up to be released. This is an opportunity to keep my heart open. This is an opportunity to ask for support, to receive support, to receive more. We're meant to receive.
Do any of you guys have problems receiving things from people? Like, do you feel a little friction if someone wants to give you something, like money or help or advice? Or
so Danielle, like, I'll invite you to ask yourself, like, one, play with that question. How many ways can I figure this out? How many ways can this be worked out? And just see what comes up. And if you need support, like, reach out. And also, Carlos, you said, do you tune in 100% emotion, input, goal, and background? So there are different types of manifestors, if that, I'm assuming that's what you were talking about. And to some people, really, they're specific manifestors. So they'll focus on that goal. Zach really likes to focus on the goal. I'm more of a non-specific. So I like to focus on the emotion. One thing that's really important with energy work to remember is that there's no right or wrong way to do it. It's just what's right for you right now.
Right now.
Because that's going to change. Yes.
And so, you know, one of the things that I'm going to be shifting into leaning into, just as a practice, just like yoga is a practice, just like architecture architecture is the practice of architecture. Medicine is the practice of medicine. Manifesting and energy work is a practice. It's constantly evolving. You're trying to get a little bit better. And so, yeah, I'm going to be leaning more out of my head, out of a specific goal, and just really focusing. My affirmations are going to be turning more into the five senses. And so experiencing those things, saying that I'm leaving the one house in Ohio, I'm walking out the door, as the snow falls onto my head, you feel that crisp air, and I am feeling excitement inside myself to head to Sedona, the other house that we'll have in the future. And we'll get to enjoy that, where it'll be warm, it'll be a different sense of air inside of us. We'll be able to climb mountains when we know that there's snow that's on the ground here. And it's that excitement of bringing just a new environment towards it. It's like rebirth and regrowth of spring, except you don't have to wait for spring. We're just going to move to a different place. So one of our manifestations that we're leaning into, goals, if you want to call it that, but it's a vision of how we'll be living our life, is that we want to live in 4 houses throughout the year. 4 houses, and then we'll short-term rent them, Airbnb, if you will, the rest of the year. So it'll pay for those houses. But that'll, it's so, putting that affirmation, into those submodalities of those 5 senses and everything like that, and really feeling those emotions, that's not something that I have embraced in the past, but that's something that I'm leaning into right now.
Yeah.
Because that's something that resonates well with her. Yeah, it's newer to me, but again, I'm lucky to be getting married to her. And so
we'll talk about the different ways that, like, some people will resonate with this technique more, some people will
relatively
with
cold,
this
Julie.
more. It's sunny. I think Zach is more focused on the sun. We're in Ohio. It is not sunny.
I'm from upstate New York, and cold is like negative degrees are cold or below freezing. Like, I don't mind wearing a coat anywhere.
But yeah, so we'll get in. I need sun too, Melissa.
Yeah.
I feel you. So we will get into like the different techniques of aligning to your future and energetic alignment with yourself. And we're going to talk about so much stuff over the next months, you guys. Like, we're really just getting started. And the more specific we go into things, like, I can't wait to really get into like inner child healing and more type of energy healing techniques that you can use on yourself every single day, and mindset shifts and just different hacks and like energy hacks and like mindset tips that Zach has learned along the way. Like, we're so excited to really go into this. So we're really just scraping the top off of like the frosting off the cake, because I like cake. But there was another thing that was, yes, Sedona is cold in winter. Julie said something up there. Could you scroll up real quick? Oh, okay. I know that I'm blocking things. I've always done hard things. They always work out. So what is making this so hard? So that feels like a belief that I block things have to be hard. So sometimes we are our biggest obstacles because we have unconscious beliefs that this has to be hard. How many of us heard, in order to be successful, you have to work hard? And then how many of us were exemplified hard work as dad, mom working, probably dad working from like 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., coming home, sitting on the couch. Oh, I'm exhausted, right? So we learn to associate hard work with literally like dedicating our life to it, with exhaustion.
Or even like love,
right?
Because that's your parents. So like, their parents are loving you doing those things. It's hard work because you're sacrificing for somebody else at that point.
Sacrifice, right? Hard work equals sacrifice. How many of us, maybe we're in extracurriculars at school and mom and dad had to miss something because of work. So I have to choose something. I know that was me. Well, I have to choose something. Like, I'm learning that mom or dad have to choose me or something else, because hard work and success equals sacrifice. How many of us now in today's age don't want to sacrifice? We don't want to settle. We don't want to believe that it has to be this or that. We want to live in and world. It can be this and that. I can have this and I can have that. I can be this and I can be that, right? Why not have it all? right? Because in today's day and age, it really is about believing in ourselves that we can, because we freaking can. We have the resources available to us. It's just about learning how to utilize them and aligning our energy with the resources that support us the most at any given time so that we can move forward. So now that we have these beliefs of, and when we saw mom and dad do, or now we have an inner conflict, right? And this is where those conditioned beliefs growing up, we learned hard work is sacrifice. Hard work is loss. Hard work is, I have to choose between this or that. Hard work is exhaustion. I don't want to live that way. I'm thinking to myself as I saw mom and dad show me this, exercise this. I don't know why I can't think of the word, but show me this and display this. And so now I'm in an internal conflict where I want success, but it feels hard. It feels like hard work. And now I'm coming up with all of these subconscious sabotages of procrastination, of things not working out, of things feeling really hard and me wanting to just back away from it.
Oh my gosh, are you in my head right now? But I've had to do those similar things where just a whole mindset shift on it. It's not hard. It's not hard, and it could be tricking yourself at first, maybe saying that it's easy, when we're in alignment with what you feel is right for you and where you're meant to show up in this world. It just feels easy. Like, oh my gosh, if we were to script out what the heck we would say for this whole thing, I would be freaking out over it, like all the little words trying to make it all perfect. But instead, this is easy.
So, and that's
Right?
something too, is like life can be easy with hard moments,
Mhm.
but it doesn't mean that it has to be hard. And because we are people that can do hard things become easier and they stop becoming this like feared obstacle. And instead they become opportunities, and they become opportunities for growth. So again, it's that perspective shift. So if we have that belief that things are hard, and then we're associating hard with sacrifice or exhaustion or loss, then yeah, we're not going to want to give into that hard work. And we're going to be like, oh my gosh, why do I keep attracting this hard work? Well, maybe we're attracting it because there's something that wants to shift. And until we recognize that there's a lesson here, which we'll talk about this in a later episode too, but until we recognize that there's a lesson here, and what is the lesson here? Well, maybe I'm meant to approach this differently. Maybe I'm meant to bring different energy to this. Maybe there's a belief that's coming up to be released. Maybe there's an inner child part of me that wants to be released. Maybe there's a part of my body that doesn't feel safe doing this. So it's coming up saying, hey, this needs to go before you can move forward, right? It's all about bringing that focus inward so that our external environment shifts. So if we can just start by saying, like, recognizing. So again, this next week, we want you to be aware of how you think about things in your life, how you think about obstacles. Are they obstacles or are they opportunities for growth? How you think about situations. Is it hard? Hard for who? Hard in what sense? Is there a way that you can make it a little easier? Is there a way that you can, if it's hard, can you make it fun at least? Does hard have to mean exhaustion? Does hard have to mean loss and sacrifice? Or can hard work mean I'm working hard at being myself? It means I'm having fun, right? So we get to create meanings around the experiences in our life. What meanings are we creating? So I want you to bring self-awareness to the stories that you're attaching to your everyday life and the meanings that you're giving to experiences in your life, the thoughts that you're thinking and the emotions that you feel throughout your day. If you want to keep a journal and just say, oh, like, it's the morning, I'm feeling this. It's the afternoon, I'm feeling this. It's the evening, I'm feeling this. And get an idea of what your baseline is. What kind of words are you speaking to yourself, about yourself, to others, about others?
So just being aware. So really
Yes.
the goal from this whole week is we just want you to be
aware.
a little bit more aware, just a little bit more aware. And if that helps, I mean, we should jot these things down. That way
It
we're
can help,
consciously
yeah.
thinking about them. So we're
Mhm.
consciously trying to tap into our awareness of what's going on. So whenever something pops up, and it doesn't have to be the same time every day, it can be, because then if
Yeah.
that works for you, then you're at least doing that and you're getting that baseline like she's talking about. But keeping that little journal next to you when something pops up and you feel some strong emotion, good or bad, just be aware of those things, because we want you to lean towards those good ones, because that's
Yes.
something that's aligned with you. So that is going to be your I'm not going to say red flag, but I'm going to say green flag.
Yeah.
That's the way that you want to go with it, right? That's what you want to attract more of and align yourself with, and make sure all your goals are aligned through are those green flags that you have. And those red
Yes.
flags, those are the ones that you really have to identify. And then we can work on those,
Yes.
bring those as like homework to the next thing. Because hopefully you guys are tracking with us. Hopefully you're following along in some of our examples, our stories, what we're dropping to you guys, but that you're tracking at home and saying, okay, this thing relates to me when I am thinking this, when I'm doing this in business, or when I'm triggered from this, or when there's this person, that person, whenever those emotional responses are, just track with us, everybody,
Mhm.
because we all want more for everyone else. And so,
Yes.
together we can just uplift each other
Yes.
along this path. And any question that you have, any issue that you're dealing with, let me assure you, you are not alone. I mean, there are probably many, many people right on this call, yet alone, that's interested in what we're talking about, and the ones that will be joining us in the future, and the ones that couldn't make it here today that specifically told us they really were interested but couldn't make it today, they are feeling those same darn things too.
Yes.
My gosh, help
you're
them
not
out.
alone.
Help yourself out. But if you won't help yourself out, help everyone else out. And in doing so, you'll end up helping yourself out. So just be aware of those, jot those things down, bring those next time so that we can take some awesome, actionable steps on the next time and just take things just a little bit further. We're going to go just a little bit better, a little bit further,
deeper.
a little bit deeper every time, so we can just live a happier, peaceful, more serene life,
Yes,
more in
because-
line with our goals.
Yeah. And this work, energy work, just the path of spirituality, which to me, spirituality is just really connecting to your truth, to yourself, and your connection with your higher power, and whatever that means for you. To me, it's like that source within us that connects to everything around us. And so this is infinite. Like, this work can go on and on and on. And if you would let me, I would spend the rest of this week and this weekend sitting here talking about all of this stuff.
She loves this just even a little bit more than I love this.
And so, but we're going to cut it off right here. We thank you all so much for spending your morning with us, or whatever time it is for you. And we will,
Melissa, back tomorrow. Yeah.
We'll be back next Thursday. We hope that you join. Oh, wow. Night. That we thank you for spending your evening with us. And if you are, I know that we post this in a couple different groups. So whatever group you're in, if you happen to be doing this and you feel inspired to share, and you do share, like, please tag us. If you're on social media, I think Zach put our Instagrams on there. Please tag me so I can connect, so I can cheer you on. I've been doing this work for 6 years. I've been an energy healer, and it never ends. It just spirals, and we can either spiral up or we can spiral down, but how we spiral is our choice. So I hope that you choose union, you choose connection, you choose just communion with other people, and you really allow yourself to open up into just the truth of who you are, because that's why we're all here, and we're here to have fun while we do it.
Oh,
I get
gosh.
caught up in the seriousness of stuff. So let's have fun. Let's share with each other. I've hit this microphone so many times. Let's
get
have
used to it.
fun. Let's share with each other, and really just, like, we are just scraping the icing off of the top of the cake. So I cannot wait for next week. I cannot wait to get into inner child healing and, like, somatic expression and all of that stuff.
Super nerdy fun. Yes.
Yes.
So people, if you would like to connect with us, we've dropped our links. Her for Instagram, me, I'm more active on Facebook. But we're both on both. So feel free to go on there, chat with us. But yeah, share this. Think about who you would want to share this with, because just like me, my story of being impatient, and I never shared that impatience that was building inside me with anyone. If you share it, you can release it.
Yes.
So you're not holding on to it. So finding even an accountability buddy, someone that you want to grow together with, it doesn't matter if it's a business partner, someone that you're friends with, your spouse, your lover, whatever they might be, my gosh, find someone to share it with, because you're both going to grow. You're going to uplift each other. You're going to be more accountable. You're going to be able to resonate and talk with each other in the week in between that this is all going on. And you're just going to get so much more out of it, because you're not going to be just holding this inside of you. It needs to get out, share it, and oh my gosh,
Yes.
anything is possible at that point.
And yes, there is a recording for this. It will get sent out. If you are registered, so you'll get it sent to you. And if you know someone that would benefit from the series, share it with them, definitely. And if you guys want to share your contact information in the chat box, if you guys want to connect with each other, I think some of us are in sub 2. Some of us might not be. So then
Sub 2 is a real
please-
estate group. It's a loving, happy community for real estate investors. But yeah, Gabby, to answer your question, anyone that you'd like to share this with, please, you can share the recording for sure, and then have them sign up for next week. Have them join us, and then they have a week to watch this, and they'll feel like they haven't missed anything.
yeah,
They're all caught up, and then we can just keep moving it along,
yeah.
building and building.
Yeah, we thank you guys so much for playing
you.
with us, for enjoying this, hour and a half. I apologize. I went over so much, but so much good stuff is coming through. Oh, so excited to go deeper. Thank you guys so much. We are just getting started. Can't wait to see how this evolves. Can't wait to see how you all evolve and hear about what comes up for you in our next week call. Can't wait to hear about all of the self-awareness that happens over the next 7 days. So thank you guys so much. We hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week. And if anything comes up in between now and then, reach out to one of us.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what possibilities we can create together,
Yes.
everybody. It's truly exciting. I get so excited from all of this. So
Yes.
all the time. Right on.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes.
Bring your questions, bring your friends, bring your problems. We'll have a lot of fun. All right, everybody.
All right.
Take care and have a wonderful rest of your week. Bye-bye.